Hello, and welcome to the Hip Senior Podcast Book Edition. Today we are with Deborah Shouse. She is the author of Connecting in the Land of Dementia. Deborah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here. We know that one of your other books on our site is Love in the Land of Dementia, but now we're talking about Connecting in the Land of Dementia. So tell us about this book, Deborah.
Well, this is a book, Connecting in the Land of Dementia, Creative Activities to Explore Together. This is the book I wished I'd had while my mom was going through her dementia journey.
Okay.
So I wrote this after Love in the Land of Dementia, after my mom passed away. And I was writing, it got inspired because I was writing an article for a magazine on activities for people who are living with dementia. And I was having a very good time writing that article. And I thought that was one of the challenges that I had with my mom. And then my partner, Ron, his parents each had dementia. The challenges of thinking of things they would like to do that they could do. So this book is interviews and ideas from 70 experts from around the world who work with creativity and the arts, and dementia. And they're they're very easy things that people can do at home with their loved one. And so there's art project, there's music, there's cooking. One of the things we talk about is the everyday life of the care partner becomes more complicated because they are on their own sometimes doing the chores. And also how important it is to live with purpose. And many times people who are living with dementia, their purpose is yanked away from them. And yet it's still very important for them to have a sense of purpose. So preparing food for someone together can really meet those needs. Gardening can meet those needs. And also learning ways to keep hobbies continuing even after you can't do some aspects of them. One example is bird watching. So friends of ours love to go out hiking, bird watching. And when he could no longer stand so much and pay attention like that, they turned their living room into a bird watching center. So they put bird feeders, they rearranged the furniture so they could have two chairs facing out. They put bird feeders right outside their window. They got their thermos of coffee, they got their binoculars, they got their bird book. They woke up early and they sat in their living room and watched the birds.
I
And so
love
that's
that.
I love it too. So there are so many examples, creative examples in here about things you can do together that keep your relationship strong, that keep the person who's living with dementia interested, engaged, encouraged. And so that was the fun of writing the book. I learned so much from people.
I absolutely love that bird idea. I think that is ingenious. And that's something that really doesn't cost a whole lot of money to do. It's not a whole lot of effort. It's rearranging your furniture and getting some bird feeders. And you might already have bird feeders hanging from your trees or wherever. You just need to relocate them so that they're in view sight, is that a word? In view of where your chairs are arranged. So that's perfect. I love that.
Yes. And there's also the importance of nature in people's lives. And many times people, it's harder for them to go outdoors. And so that's the time to be bringing the outdoors in and bringing in pine cones and making art out of natural objects, or bringing in dirt and doing planting or flower arranging. So many ways to adapt. There was one couple that they loved the seashore. They loved going to the seashore together. And so what he did is he had a pot of sand that she could put her feet in. And they would go into their back porch area. They had beach chairs. They had their regular lunch they used to have, which is a cheese sandwich and lemonade. He put on copper tone so she could smell that familiar smell. She could put her feet in the sand, and then he had a CD of ocean waves. And
Nice.
yeah, so the creativity is there, and that's something, that love of music, arts, creativity stays with people who are living with dementia even after some of the rational functions are diminished. So it's a great way to really keep people engaged.
Yeah. As you were saying that about the beach, I was thinking of first two things. First of all, was like, I guess these days you would have Alexa play beach sounds. Um,
Yes.
and Alexa, cancel. Wrong words there. And second of all, is like having those coffee tables where you can put your own design, whether it be books or whether it be golf memorabilia or sand and seashells like that in them
Yes.
and stuff. That would have been cool too for her to just have reminders and stuff. And then do you think that some people that would make them sad though?
I don't know the
Oh,
answer to that.
I can't go to the beach anymore. And or if they live more minute to minute and it's just not, it's
I think everybody's so different.
yeah.
But with this couple, it didn't make anybody sad. It made them connected. And then they would sit and reminisce about their beach activities. So yes, but you're absolutely right. Everything is an experiment. And that's one thing we talk about in this book, is that an activity that might work well one day might not be as effective the next day. And so to not be discouraged, if you try something, it doesn't work, you just try something else or try it another time.
And I think also the other thing part of that is like having these conversations with your loved one before they get to the stage of not being able to communicate with you. So finding out what their favorite songs were as they were teenagers. Maybe you didn't know them as a teenager, or their favorite places, and making lists of these things that brought them joy at a younger age as well, so that they hate the Beach Boys. And here you are trying to make them happy by playing the Beach Boys, and you find out that they're getting agitated. It's because their mind's regressing back to when they were a teenager and they're like, I hated the Beach Boys. And now this person keeps playing the Beach Boys, but they can't express that to you. And so I've had conversations with people that have been like, have those conversations before this gets too advanced. What were your favorite movies? What were your favorite books? What's your favorite music? So that those kind of things can be remembered and not the things that will agitate them as much.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And the music part of it, you're so right, is such a trigger. It's such a catalyst for emotion, for reliving things. And one Thanksgiving, we all started a playlist, and our own personal playlist, because that's what you want from people ideally,
Right.
is their favorite songs, as you mentioned. And then that's something you can use when when you're living with dementia, when you're not, as a way to help them connect with themselves, but also that a whole family can connect around this.
I love creating your own playlist. That's something I've talked about before as well, is going on Spotify or some of those and whatever. And just as you're moving along in life, just creating that, whether you think it's valuable to you now or not, that in the future, you just never know what that need could be that comes up for that. So I love that you did this book. I love that you give people ideas, because a lot of times, hold on. I love that you put this book together and that you give people ideas, because a lot of times caregivers, they get to the point where maybe they're out of ideas. I don't know what else to do or whatever. So even having a book of ideas that they can use and maybe get more ideas, one idea leads to the next type of thing for people usually. And so being open to looking for different solutions, and your book seems to be one of those.
It is. It's filled with ideas, and that was part of my purpose in creating it, because I know those moments of frustration where the old ways of connecting or activities are not working, and yet you want to be engaged, you want to keep people engaged. So this has many things to choose from and to explore.
Okay. And so my last question doesn't apply for this, because usually my question is, what do you hope this person gets out of reading your book? What's the last thought? But this is a book that they can go back in and refer to time after time when they're looking for different ideas. And if something doesn't work one day, don't give up. Maybe, maybe the next day the person's in a different frame of mind. And if you look at something and you're like, I know this person would like this, and they don't like it the first time you try it, maybe try again a few more times before just discounting ideas. Because again, with dementia, right, things change from, it can be minute to minute. And what something doesn't entice somebody 1 minute, they could be happy with it the next.
Absolutely.
Deborah, thank you so much for writing Connecting on in the Land of Dementia. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today about it. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Same here, Marianne.
All right. Bye bye.